Welcome to a new episode of the Dork Souls Podcast, where the dorkiest souls get together and nerd out shamelessly, and I love it. I'm your host, Lisa Wallen.
And I'm your other host, Hector Navarro, and today we're talking about collecting. We're talking about our collections, all the stuff that we collect, and we give you really good advice on how to collect. So make sure to stay tuned all the way to the end, because it's really good advice.
It is. And be sure to rate us on your preferred podcast platform, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and subscribe to our Patreon for bonus episodes, and enjoy today's episode. I'll just bring it up on here. Just bring it up on the podcast. Welcome to the Dork Souls Podcast.
Mark's like, stop clapping. Stop clapping. It's ruining the audio. Please stop.
Anyways, yay. Welcome to episode 4 of the Dork Souls Podcast. Isn't that crazy? We've survived this long. Wow, we're like an actual thing now. Isn't that great?
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
Great.
How you doing? You're doing good?
Great.
Anything new in your life?
Yeah, all the stuff I told you about in the car on the way down. All that stuff.
We need to not talk on these car rides and just save it for the podcast.
Everything's good. Everything's good. In terms of my dorky life, I am excited to talk about Chrono Trigger with you.
Yes.
Because you just started playing it.
I did start playing it.
And I watched you play a little bit of it on your Twitch channel, and it made me want to play it again. I love it. It made me want to get a controller and play it.
You have cute aggression with the Chrono Trigger.
The game is so cute.
I know. And we'll talk about that, which I'll probably talk at the end of the episode, because I'm not far enough in it yet.
You don't love it.
I love it.
I hate you.
No, I actually...
do you?
I love it so much. I'm streaming it tonight, actually.
Really?
By the time this episode's out, I probably will be done with it.
It's your favorite game of all time?
It's
no.
It's probably gonna be my game of the year.
Well, we're gonna talk about it later, not right now.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it now?
We'll save it.
Okay.
We'll save it.
Okay.
We'll save it.
Okay.
Because I have things I want to talk about.
Okay.
First, let's do a quick episode recap from last week.
Yeah.
We gotta stay on top of it, because we talked about video game adaptations. We talked about video games. So we're probably going to talk about more video games eventually anyways.
Yeah.
So might as well save that for later.
I got caught up on manga. I'm now caught up on Dan, the English. I'm all the way caught up.
Is it done?
Caught up in the sense of everything that they've released so far in English print.
So it's not done.
Volume 11. No.
The manga's still going?
Yeah, it's still going.
Should
I not check in with you until I finish a manga that's fully completed?
I just want to know how you feel about it.
I like it more and more. The volume I just read is probably my favorite, volume 11.
Has it gone less weird with the girl stuff?
Yes and no. I would say yes, it's gotten less weird, but there's still very specific scenarios where they're putting the women characters in it where they're like, we want you to feel uncomfortable, right? The aliens that are sort of invading this world, they still do look like exaggerated caricature versions of Japanese businessmen, Japanese men.
Yeah.
Like that's still there. So, yeah, they don't like shift from that, but I think that that's part of the story, and it's all about adolescence, and it's about all that other stuff. But the art is also so crazy, and this hasn't happened to me while reading a manga yet. Maybe it happened when I read like Lone Wolf and Cub years ago, which is an old school manga. Yeah. That comic book is rad as hell, but. Because it's from like the 70s or 80s or something. But I was flipping the page.
I never heard of it.
I was flipping the page.
I feel like a fake manga fan.
You've never heard of Lone Wolf and Cub?
No. I mean, I wasn't born in the 70s. So.
You know that's true. This is a thing. How did I learn about Lone Wolf and Cub?
There's
I learned about
whole movie series.
They made 6 movies in Japan. And they're over the top, bloody violent, the way that like Quentin Tarantino borrowed that violence for his Kill Bill movies, when like a character's head gets cut off and then it's
so it's definitely not
blood.
For children.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. Lone Wolf and Cub.
It sounds like it should be.
It's a Japanese samurai, lone samurai, who I think all of his family is killed except for his son. And it's that famous thing. You've seen other things influenced.
Like Sword and Stranger. Yeah.
Yeah. He puts a ball and a sword in front of him, and the baby picks a sword, and he's like, "You're coming with me on this journey of revenge." That's the whole plot.
Oh,
and
I feel like that would break my heart.
Yeah, it's great, but it inspires things like Samurai Jack.
Like Dororo, that's another one that's like it's just like a samurai and a kid type thing.
The Mandalorian is Lone Wolf and Cub. Yeah. Him basically carrying him around in that little
trope.
It's a trope.
Is that like the original trope?
Yes.
Oh.
So this was a comic book that Dark Horse Comics,
the original
like,
Baby Yoda.
yeah, like brought, but actually just a baby, like a human baby,
Yeah.
baby human, baby Japanese baby, which is the cutest, best baby. I mean,
Yeah.
he has like that little haircut that you're like,
Oh my
the
God.
cultural, yeah,
See,
it's the best.
that shit will make me cry.
And he was seeing his dad just like kill people. It's awesome, but
I
it
was
is
like, yeah, dude,
emotional.
that's
and-
fucking dope.
yeah. That's cool. My dad could kill your dad.
Yeah.
Is the thing of the thing. But Dark Horse Comics put the original comic books from the 70s or 80s into English and printed them in their sort of like thick omnibus, thick boy of like many volumes of Lone Wolf and Cub. So I read a bunch of that years ago. But now cut to this. Something happened while reading Don to Don. I turned the page and we cut to a scene and something so badass happened. And I was like, I love this. This is so badass. There's Lone Wolf and Cub. You've seen it, Lisa.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, exactly.
I have, actually.
So anyway, I'll let you borrow it. I have some volumes.
Wow.
We just haven't gotten to that part of my shelf to scan yet.
Yeah,
it's
that
all the
is-
way to the left.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched the first season of the anime and I really liked it. And yeah,
Right.
I can tell that I might enjoy the manga a little more.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the anime, I wouldn't say the word censor, but it does kind of like when I see like something that's like very gory or like like bloody or whatever, I always want to see the manga version of it,
Right, to
versus the
see how
animation
much
version.
Yeah.
And also, I really like it. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
cool,
wish
it's
it
fun.
wasn't so weird about girls.
I know.
Sometimes, and
know.
but that's just what the thing with anime, and sadly,
Yep.
yeah.
It is. It
But
is.
That's why my favorite anime is Mob Psycho 100, where the only one who sexualizes Reagan and they tattooed on my hand. And that's
There you go.
the best thing. Because they were like, we gotta make somebody hot, so they just made him hot. And I was like, great.
I love that.
The 28-year-old
I love that for you.
the guy who doesn't pay taxes and underpays junior high kids to work for him. Good. I love him. He's a fake sidekick.
I gotta watch that show,
it's
dude.
so goddamn good.
I gotta watch it.
It might
Do
be
you own it all on Blu-ray or you just
I
streamed
do
it?
have it all on Blu-ray.
Let me borrow it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so
Done.
good. There you go. Patreon episode.
Do you have the manga?
I do have all the manga too.
Let me borrow it.
I really
Done.
love. That's how much I love it.
What do you want to borrow from me? Nothing.
A lot.
No.
We'll talk about borrowing because we have a topic today that really goes into that. But before I do that, I actually have something that might go along with the topic. I just did a headlining show in San Diego on Saturday at Mic Drop Comedy.
Brag about it.
It was my first headlining show in 2 months.
And you crushed.
And I crushed.
And you demolished.
I demolished. I murdered the whole audience.
Yeah,
they were
leveled
like,
it.
my dad could kill all these people. And that was me.
You're the dad.
But what was really cool after my show, and this happens a lot, and I'm very grateful, is that people will like come to my show for my streams and they'll like buy me gifts. And somebody bought me a Gurren Lagann t-shirt, which is very rare to find Gurren Lagann merch. It was like a limited edition one that they found. They were like, I have to get this for her. Got me one. Somebody got me a vampire magic card deck that they built. I got a pin,
a whole deck.
A whole deck.
Oh my God.
I got a pin. I got a pin of the Shark Boy from Chainsaw Man. He's my favorite character. Beam. I love him. And I was like, man, this is dope. Like people know shit that I like.
It's the best.
And I've had this happen at shows before. I had somebody a few years ago give me a DVD of The Tick at one of my shows. Because
which version of I guess the original, the Patrick Warburton?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
of
all
course.
right. The one on Amazon was okay too. I liked it, but, the Patrick Warburton's different.
It's not Himbo Tick.
No.
We need Himbo Tick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ultimate Himbo Tick.
Yeah.
And I remember a comedian being like, what is this for?
Yeah.
I was like, people just like to give me weird shit. And everyone's like, you have the weirdest audience. And I
No,
was like,
the best.
The best. Yeah. I was like, do your audience members give you gifts? No, I didn't think so.
Yep.
But people just know that I like collecting cool shit.
Has anyone ever given you a Dragonite thing?
Yes. I've gotten a Dragonite hand drawing from somebody.
Okay. Oh,
I got
no.
a Dragonite pin from someone.
Uh-huh.
Someone got me a Dragonite Pokemon card.
Uh-huh.
Any joke that I made, like the minute I'm like, I want to play Magic, people are like, give her Magic
Got
stuff.
you. We
Next,
got
I have
you.
to be like, I need money. And
Yeah,
and
I want
everyone's
to pay
like,
my
I'm out.
mortgage. I want to pay my
I was
bills.
like, I need money. Everyone's like, I'm good. Actually, we'll just keep giving you.
I love getting free stuff. I've been putting some stuff on eBay. That's kind of new for me.
Yeah.
Shout out to my eBay.
Yeah.
Well, my Instagram and social media
My
accounts
eBay.
have for years have been Hector is funny is my Instagram. So my eBay is Hector is selling. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh
my
man,
God,
it's so
that is
funny.
so
Lisa went like this. It's so
funny.
funny. No, it's stupid. It's dumb.
It is very dumb. I like that.
But I have been also fortunate enough to do internet things and different things over the past decade that like
you get a lot of free shit.
it's like a little bit public, a little bit in the public, and so people will Or also because part of my job has been, hey, kind of influencery, but more like you do press things, or you go do like movie sort of promotional things or whatever, or you go interview somebody, and then there's like they give you like a freebie goodie bag of stuff on the way out, So I have like, I think I still have. The last one of those I got, a promotional box mailed to me, was for like Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, and you open it and
They
there's
just
like
give you a pool.
it's like a bottle of water and like a jacket and a hat, or I don't know.
You know what they should have given you? They should
what?
give you those grow your own boyfriend things.
Yeah, but in the shape of Aquaman.
That would be awesome.
I agree.
I really do think a lot of these like companies that send you free shit, they got to give you like some clever stuff.
They got to be creative.
Yeah.
They really do.
Give me
they
some
really
creative
do.
shit. Like I got
Be
the
a fun
coolest thing
job.
I got is Reese's Puffs did a dragon. You saw the Dragon Ball Z Reese's Puffs box that I have.
Oh my god! Wait, maybe I did see it.
So they did a collaboration with Dragon Ball Z, but they made like this really cool 3D Reese's Puffs Dragon Ball Z like collector's box.
Yeah.
And they gave it to me inside a glass case.
Yeah.
So that I could display it.
Awesome.
And then I still have until this day, when Elden Ring came out, they gave us a selective, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. They gave it to just a few thousand people. Very, very, the rarest thing I own is the Trolley Peachios Elden Rings. I have not opened them. They expired 1.5 years ago.
Yeah,
the bag is full of gas. Like it's not gummy anymore. But I'm like, I'm keeping this shit forever, because I had friends like eat it and they kept the wrapper and they shadow boxed it. I was like,
sure,
nah. I'm gonna be like Charlie in It's Always Sunny when he eats the Ninja Turtle pies from the 90s. And he's like, yeah, these are still good. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it forever.
That's
like,
gross.
why not? Because I'm like, fuck it. You know what? Who
Yeah,
cares, right?
I love some of that stuff though. I have a can of Duff soda root beer.
Yeah.
From like The Simpsons, and I think it was a thing that, because like for the Simpsons movie, that's 2007.
Yeah.
There were some Quickie Marts that popped up around LA that were 7-Elevens that did like a Quickie Mart promotional thing, and they sold things that were only sold at that time. Like,
and you bought stuff.
I
and
bought
you
some
kept
stuff
it?
there, yeah.
Oh.
But it's like, but I opened it and drank it, and I just have the can. I don't have like a thing. I'm never gonna crack it open.
You're not me who's disgusting.
No, I'm not disgusting.
I'm making a bomb.
Yeah,
right
it's
now
gross.
in my
I even
apartment.
washed it out, rinsed it out. Yeah, you're gross.
Yeah,
you're gonna die. That's
I'm just
poison.
gonna keep it forever. I'm never gonna open it, because eventually I'm gonna sell it online, because somebody already sold one on eBay for $2,000.
No way.
Yeah. I was like, not me, baby. I'm keeping mine. Yeah.
For $4,000.
The Elden. Yeah.
For
$10,000.
I love
It's
that.
like nerd Bitcoin.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. Except for it could kill you if you eat it. Which is a good transition into today's big topic, which is collectibles.
What do you have? What's your most prized possession?
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. Because you have like statues and stuff. That's the thing about Lisa Wallen collection. You have some things. I mean, I'm not gonna brag, because we're all hustling here. We're doing podcasts, okay? We're making podcast money, which is to say, not a lot, but
we're making we're negative.
We're
money
negative.
right
We're in the
now.
red. But you do have some statues that are like, oh, this was either purchased or gifted. This is adult money. You have some nice things.
Yeah, I wouldn't say those. Money-wise, prized possessions.
Yeah,
Some of my prized possessions are like things you could only get when they came out.
Love
like
it.
little Reagan pins and like little Hunter stuff. But yeah, I have a $800 32-inch statue of Virgil from Devil May Cry right next to my bed.
Purchased with your own money?
Purchased with my own money. And I did it. I actually talked to my friend about this. I bought it because I was sad.
Yeah.
And I went home. I moved back home with my parents after the pandemic for a bit. I had just lost my job.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm 32, living with my parents, and I have no money.
Yeah.
I need something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And I went online, and there's a company called Prime One Studio. Do not look it up. It is dangerous.
Okay.
They're one of the best resin statue companies of all time. Flawless.
Did you pay in payments?
No, I paid it all at once.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I saw that they had a Devil May Cry. It was right when I was playing 5, and I was like, I made so many jokes about how much I love Virgil, and I was like, fuck it. I'm getting a Virgil statue. And I did. I put $745 down, and then about 6 months later, it shipped to my house, and a giant box is about 3 feet tall, and I was like, is this I thought it was a gamer chair, and I opened it. I was like, oh, this is my statue. And he is huge. He's about up to my thigh, and it's right next to my bed, and it's terrifying, and I love it. And everyone comes in just like, oh my God, this is amazing.
But if somebody ever breaks in, you could literally grab the sword and be like,
I also
outta
do
here.
have a life-size
Yeah. Oh, you have a life one?
Yeah,
Okay,
as
great.
far as well too. But yeah, like a lot of my other stuff, like I had someone buy me the Rivers of Blood replica from Elden Ring, which is my favorite sword.
Dang, that's cool.
Yeah, and then I have like a little shelf that has like Yakuza collection, my Gintama.
You already knew this about us, but you know you're cooler than me, right?
No.
Yes.
No, I've seen your garage.
No.
Has Mark seen your garage?
No, he hasn't.
Yeah.
No, he has
He's
not.
gonna be like, no, he's way cooler
No,
than
Lisa's cooler because you are describing like cool like replica things and like cool statues and stuff. I think we have different philosophies about collecting. I have a childlike mentality, but also I am pretty specific when it comes to my collecting. I'm like, I'm going to get action figures for this one thing, but then that's it. And I don't really stray from like a couple of different.
So many action
I
figures.
know. Oh, you want to get into it?
Yeah.
Let's get
you
into it.
Fight?
I'll defend myself. So I collect like Marvel characters from the Marvel movies and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I say that, then I have to follow it up with, let me explain. I'll explain to people, I go, but I don't have like every different Iron Man action figure that they've made over the years. Because Iron Man would have a different suit in like every movie. I don't do that. I have one Iron Man.
But that's also overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. Yeah, right, it is.
Because
it is.
like at least my series have very limited things. Like
and mine's ongoing and infinite.
Yeah, like
because I'm like, I'll get all the characters, but I only have one of each character.
Yeah, there's like everything has a Marvel thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a Marvel water bottle.
No, see, but no, I don't do that. I'm talking about just this action figure collection line.
Yeah,
when people are nice enough to give me stuff or gift me stuff or I get things and they know that I'm a dork. They know that I'm a dork soul. They go, here's a Marvel water bottle. I'm like, cool. It's either going to be my water bottle or I already have a water bottle. I'm going to sell this or get rid of it or gift it.
I
or
also
something.
am the same way. I only collect usually Nendoroids or Good Smile ones.
Those are cute though. I kind of like those.
But then again, like the things that I like, there's no merch for. Like
right.
I have the one
because
Reagan...
you're, say it with me, cooler than me, Lisa. See, thank you for proving my point.
Pretentious, I would say.
Yes, you're pretentious
I'm sorry.
Cool.
I don't like the Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know? I like
that's cute. You
I
like
the
Marvel movies?
I like the Arayan Aratakas or however fuck you say his name. Well, it was overwhelming for me because so my favorite anime of all time is Gintama, which is very Japanese. You cannot find anything of that in the States. Even in the anime stores here, they probably have like one or two Gintoki statues.
Yeah.
I went to Japan. It's so big there that I had to buy a separate suitcase for all the things that I bought.
Yeah. Hell yeah. You got a chuckle from producer Mark.
Yeah,
nice.
I have 5 Hijikata statues or figurines. I have 5 Gintoki ones. And then I just bought a 22-inch Gintoki statue from a resin company. It was $600 when I had money. Don't have that anymore.
Yep.
But yeah, and everyone's like, where did you get all this Gintama stuff? I was like, I literally went to Japan.
Yeah.
Went to a secondhand manga store.
But that's cool.
Store.
That makes it special. That's cool.
That's why it's like, again,
I get my stuff at Target. But
I
get my stuff at, my stuff is sold at Walmart.
That's why we had the conversation about having our houses burned down during the fires.
Yeah.
Like, we are too cool. Like, why can't we would just be boring people? Why can't I just why did I go to Japan and get all this stuff? Like, I literally started filling up a suitcase with, I didn't give a shit about my clothes or anything. I want all my figurines. Yeah.
I did grab my video game thing, my video game console. I grabbed some like heavy, out of print, expensive hardcover comics. Big, thick boys. And I put them in the trunk of our car. And I grabbed some. I left all my action figures because, again, at least my action figure collecting, whether it's Marvel or I have a bunch of Star Wars guys up on a wall, those I don't get. You've seen like the Hot Toys figures.
Yeah.
Those are $200, $300 a pop. They're beautiful. They're basically like 12-inch dolls with like usually realistic clothing and like the armor and everything lights up and the faces look like it's a little shrunken Robert Downey Jr. Like it's insane. But they take up so much space and they're so expensive. And they do tons of characters too, but my brain is going, oh, but the cheaper ones that are about $25 a pop, $30 a pop, those are easier to get and they kind of do more characters. I'll just stick with this. So I don't have big, really adult money representations of like, my favorite. Well, I take it back. I have one.
Yeah.
That my girlfriend gifted me years ago from my favorite movie. And I did pack this before the fires and put it in the trunk. The Iron Giant. There's like a Mondo collectible.
Well.
Like it's like really, really like has different accessories and like
is it the one that is multi-posable?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can move it. His fingers go
My
like
old
this.
boss had that one.
Comes with a little Hogarth Hughes you can put on.
Where
his,
did you even get that?
She bought it from Mondo, from the Mondo company, which is they do the high end collectible stuff. They have vinyls. They have and it's like out. They don't sell it anymore.
To me, it's like I can't. It's like avoiding certain video games. I have to avoid certain like statue brands
because you don't. Because you know you're gonna be.
I will get sad if they have a line.
Yeah,
I still think about it all the time.
There it is, right there.
Yeah,
look at that stuff.
How much is that?
Yeah, Mark, what's the price on that? Used, aftermarket.
Let's see, we got 400.
People are gonna break into our homes, Lisa. They're gonna break into our homes and jack our shit.
So I live on blah blah blah.
No,
no.
I live in Sacramento.
Here's the thing, though, is that if I was into more mainstream stuff,
okay, stop. You're so cool. Stop.
Listen,
you would be broker.
No, I would do what you do.
Yes.
I would limit myself to specific. I already do that. Ever since I got the Virgil statue, I was like, I would rather spend $800 on one really cool thing than $800 on 10 things.
I know.
Like, so I've also been selling like old figurines and stuff of mine and Nendoroids and whatnot. Because I'm like, like I don't like the Gintama and the Reagan stuff is different because like these are specific characters I really love and I like to showcase my love for them.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm no longer buying stuff.
Yeah.
I got the Nendoroid for Hijikata or for Gintoki and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
No, I already have a giant statue. No more. So until I go on something like, oh, here's a new statue brand. And you're like, well, fuck, now I gotta.
I know, dude.
You
know what was this weekend? Toy Fair was this weekend. I follow all the toy people on Instagram and all the people that like all the toy companies. And so they're just constantly revealing like, oh, here's they just unveiled this new line of like Sesame Street action figures. And I'm looking at them like, those look pretty good. Like, stop, Hector, stop. I love Sesame Street, but I can't. Why am I even looking at that?
I went to Frankensons.
Dangerous.
For the first time.
Dangerous.
That's like
it's the coolest
have
place.
You been there? Yeah, that place is.
One of my buddies has a booth there.
Stop. Can you hook us up? Stop. I need to stop asking you about it.
Can he sponsor us?
That's
no,
crazy.
Just kidding, right?
Frankensons is dangerous for adult collectors.
Yeah. I can't go there anymore.
They'll be like, hey, remember that thing from your childhood that you love specifically? It's right here.
I mean, I went to a store specifically and they had like Metal Gear Solid figurines from like the early 2000s.
Ooh.
And I was like, do I need to start collecting these?
Like in plastic? Like blister
like
packs?
Like actual, like they had
figures?
from Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, they had like actual action figures. And they were selling them, for like $30, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't need these.
Do you have, are you okay? Do you have the Nintendo Amiibo?
Yeah.
Do you have the Snake?
No.
Because they made one because he's in Super Smash Brothers. The whole Smash Brothers line is...
I'm like actually thinking about selling my Amiibos.
Oh.
I was like, I don't need all these anymore.
Which ones you got? How much you got? I might buy them off you.
I got all the Super Smash Brothers Zelda ones. I got all the Breath of the Wild ones. I'm gonna keep the Twilight Princess ones.
That's
they're
fine.
my favorite. Yeah.
Let's talk though. I might want.
Let's talk.
This is what this whole.
Let's
this is
do
dangerous.
A deal here,
Nerds just like share each other's. It's true because I just talking about like you get a collection and then you kind of get something and it almost scratches an itch.
Yeah.
You have this thing with your tattoos.
Yeah, these are my trophies. These
trophies,
are my collections.
Completionist trophy.
This is my murder trophy.
It's rad, dude. You collect trophies. You collect tattoos.
Yeah.
And I think the past year or two, I started collecting these Lord of the Rings because I love Lord of the Rings. Everybody does. Again, mainstream. It's basic. You're cooler than me. I'm less cool. We've established that. But I've gotten these figures.
This guy.
They were made by Weta, and they're kind of in a cartoony style, and they're called mini epics, and they're really fun. And I saw one years ago.
Are they the ones with the big heads?
Kind of. They kind of have big heads, big hobbit heads.
Yeah.
But like in my brain was like, ooh, I love the way Gandalf looks. His beard is really cartoony and curvy and really cool, and I love the lines. So maybe I want to get Gandalf. Maybe I want to get Gandalf and Frodo. Maybe I want to get just the Fellowship. Those are those right there.
Maybe I want the whole...
But
those ones.
So I stopped myself because I was like, okay, they've got Gollum, they've got Galadriel, they've got all these other characters. If I get just the 9 characters that are in the Fellowship of the Ring, right? A couple of humans, Legolas,
what if
Gimli.
I get all of Lord of the Rings?
I said, let me just get this 9. Once I ordered them all and they eventually showed up and I set them all up, it was almost like a, okay, I think I'm good. And I had them on my shelf.
It's satisfying.
It is, but I had them on my shelf for a while. And maybe in the back of my brain, I had it that I was like, if I ever try to sell these, it would be better if I try to sell the set, the Fellowship versus individually. Oh, I have a Gimli. Oh, I have a Samwise. No, I've got the
It's
fellowship.
also satisfying when it's like it'll ship in like 8 months because
Yeah,
then
and
you
you're like,
forget about it,
have
and then
something to look
one
forward
day
to.
you have
What a
prize.
surprise. What
You
a
just get little
surprise.
prize.
It's the best.
Yeah, I'm still
So-
waiting for another Nendoroid I ordered.
Really?
Yeah, the
So,
Kagura one.
I did all this with Lord of the Rings, and I was like, I think I'm good. I'm going to make some space. Maybe I want to collect other things now. Move on to maybe I'm going to get into He-Man. I don't know.
Where do you have okay, Hector keeps like, oh, Lisa, you're so cool. One of us has a whole garage
Yeah.
specifically for and you
One wall of a garage. The other wall is my girlfriend's amazing voiceover booth that she uses for work. She's a professional
and
adult.
now you're gonna start putting figurines in there. 'Cause
No,
you're
yeah, just in there. She opens it. What the fuck?
Yeah, listen. I have already ran out of room in my apartment. Yeah,
but I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
I like having a finite amount of room
yeah.
because it's making me get rid of books and comic books. And I'm like, does this make the cut?
I have like built Gundam that I have, and I haven't displayed them yet because I'm like, I don't know how I want to display them yet, and now I want to get a
Ooh.
glass case just for my Gundam.
Put them on strings above your bed.
That's actually not a bad idea. I know
'Cause they're
you
flying.
might be joking,
No,
but
dude.
I'm like, wait, that's actually really cool.
Fishing wire, so they're very invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like crying.
Now
You're
I'm
like, this
thinking
is a
about
great
it.
idea.
Hold
and you
on,
can
I'll
kind
be
of
right
pose
back.
them, and they're like in the air, like
I'm like
fighting.
writing it in my phone on the side.
So that
Just give
when
me a
you
second.
wake up in the morning, the first thing you see is a Gundam battle above your eyes.
Until we have an earthquake like we did yesterday for 5
Yeah,
seconds. And
that was
then
crazy.
Like, they all fall onto me
was
and
crazy.
stab me in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'd be scared about.
Secure them.
Yeah, you know.
Drill them
Yeah,
in
you know.
with
Actually,
a
I'll
nail or
just build
something.
a Gundam base on my ceiling.
Ooh.
See, now we're getting.
Can I
deep
ask you
in.
something about your Gundams?
Yeah,
You collect Gundams. You build them.
yeah,
You haven't seen all the Gundam shows. You've seen some though.
yeah. I actually
you're
was gonna bring up Gundam today.
Okay.
Actually, 'cause
Oh, really?
We didn't talk about it last week.
We got to get into it. The last thing I want to say about the Lord of the Rings thing, just real quick, because I had one more thought, which is I posted them on eBay and I put it on Instagram, and one of my friends went, "Hey, actually, I want those." And it's what we were talking about earlier of like there's always going to be somebody out there. This is the point of eBay. Do you know the story of eBay? Have we talked about this?
No.
The story of eBay, the way eBay, the website was invented, was whoever was one of the founders or the inventors or whatever, as a kind of a prank, had a pen that had run out of ink. So he somehow put this and listed it on the internet to sell for, I forget what the amount was, $1 or whatever the amount was. And he was like, as an experiment. And then somebody bought it. And he
somebody always will want
and
it.
he reached out to that person. He goes, "Why did you buy this?" And the person went, "I collect pens." And he went, "This is going to be huge." And that's how eBay was created.
Yeah.
So just me posting, like for my price, I'm posting it on my social media. My friend, she was so funny. She messaged me and she goes, "I think I want those." And then I was like, "Sure. Is the price okay? Or do you want to make me an offer?" And she made me an offer for a little bit less. I said, "Done. I want you to have these. This is great." Lord of the Rings. She's
Also,
a big fan.
So I use Macari
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Which because it's just I already have an account. I sell really well on there.
Great.
I've made 45 sales on there.
Ooh, I
which
might
is
need to try
crazy.
that.
Yeah,
I've made
and that's
I've made
the
a
thing.
couple.
And like I had a friend who lost her house during the fire, unfortunately, and she was like, "What sucks." I mean, obviously, but I took my Nintendo Switch and not my dock, and I need to get a dock. I was like, dude, go on eBay, Mercari. People just sell that shit because they're like $10.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. It's
Yeah.
true.
I sold so many like wires, like leftover
Yeah.
stream stuff, like just for dirt cheap because
I
it's
know.
like, and people ask me all the time, why are you selling this for so cheap? I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to get rid of it, and I'd rather
And
have
get
it
it
go
to somebody who needs it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can go to Best Buy and they recycle electronics, but it's like, what if somebody's like, "No, I need that wire. I'll pay you $3 for it."
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My friend who messaged me for these Lord of the Rings things, she goes, when I gave them to her, she said, "I saw you post it," and I went, "Oh man, somebody's really gonna enjoy those." And then her brain went, "Wait a minute, it could be you.
You could be the
You
one.
could be the one."
You could be the
and
one.
she's
to
like,
enjoy
"I'm
them.
trying to get more things that I want in my life." So she just messaged
It
me. She
is
goes, "I
very
want them."
cool when you sell like actual collectible stuff because people will be like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, I've been looking all over
Yes.
for this." Like I just sold a collector's box of this video game, Trails of Cold Steel 3.
Cool.
Never will play it. I'm just not. It's just
Okay.
not my thing.
Okay.
Someone gifted to me years ago.
Great.
So sorry, Charlie.
Sorry, Charlie. Literally, sorry, Charlie.
I ended up selling it because, well, here's the thing. But when I got it, I looked
Mhm.
up the value of it online. It was like $75.
Okay, great.
And when I went to go sell it recently, the value went up to $500. But I ended up selling it for like,
Oh, for dramatic effect,
yeah,
sneeze,
for dramatic sneezes.
pause, sneeze.
Just like $250.
250, half price. To
And
what
somebody was like, "Why are you selling this for
Yeah.
so cheap? Is something wrong with it?" I was like, I just don't need it.
I want you to have it.
And honestly,
and I also want $250.
and somebody like messaged me like, I've been trying to find this for so long, and because it came out in 2019, it's unopened, and I was like, yeah, I could have made a few more bucks off it, but
maybe I should sell my Duff beer can.
No,
keep it.
Okay,
great.
That's the thing. Everyone's like,
Mark,
everyone keeps telling me
it's empty.
It's empty.
Yeah.
Sell it. Keep it.
Somebody will collect empty cans. Listen,
Yeah.
I have the bag of the Trolleos.
I know.
I'm scared to sell that and someone's going to eat it and die. So I'm just going to keep it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But
That's a
people
good
are
point.
already selling them for like
Man.
$300, $2,000. I'm like, this was like, it's so funny how people are like, someone out there just has stupid money and just wants to buy stupid shit.
Yeah.
And I support that.
And I'm here for that person.
Yeah,
I'm here for that stupid person.
And I had stupid money. I bought a Virgil statue.
Yeah, exactly. We've all been there.
There you go.
Okay, so I want to talk about Gundam.
I would love to talk about Gunpla,
Gunpla
which is the building of Gundam.
is the building of, it's the act of building it.
Gundam Plastics, the Gunpla.
Oh,
Someone-
wait. What does that actually refer to?
Gunpla is the building kits.
The building kits.
Yeah.
Oh, because Gundam is like, you're referring
what
to
it
the
is.
characters in the universe.
You build the Gundam out
But
of the
Gunpla
Gunpla.
are the kits.
Yeah.
Is it Gundams, plural?
No, it's just Gundam.
Gundam.
Yeah.
To even if it's plural, you're like,
Yeah.
I have a bunch
Look
of
at-
Gundam statues.
Yeah.
Like Jedi. You don't say
Yeah.
Jedis.
Jedi's statues. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
Okay.
No, I've only seen like a few Gundam series. There's
Okay.
a lot of them I haven't watched.
Okay.
And so when people come to my stream, like, who's
This
your favorite
character.
Gundam?
I
Like,
know. I like
I'll
the
be
pink
building
robot.
a Gundam of
Yeah.
something that I'd never seen. They're
Okay,
like, I was
cool.
like, I don't know. I just thought it looked cool.
It does.
And for me, it's like I wanted to have. I started with Legos. Legos are great, but when you
Okay. I'm glad you brought Legos up because that was what we were talking about earlier. I
Uh-huh.
have avoided Lego my whole life.
Legos
for
are
this
great.
specific reason. No Funko Pops, no Lego for me. I cannot get into it.
Yeah,
I would be-
Thank God, Funko Pops are ugly.
I would be
Funko Pops are
homeless.
so cheap looking.
I know. The only thing I love about Funko Pop, even though I'm not a big fan of that style, I hear you, the sort of the design language. Here's what I do love about Funko is they make everything. The most obscure movie, from 20 years ago, it's like, it's getting a Funko series. So like the fan of that could be like, finally.
Yeah,
That's cool,
That's
but-
cool. I just hate
That's
how
fine.
the eyes are staring into my soul.
Yes, they
yeah,
are.
and just
Yes,
you
it's
know,
scary.
yeah, and they also have a weird smell to them. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever opened a Funko Pop.
I have.
It smells like a Payless shoe.
It's made from recycled Payless
Yeah,
shoes.
there
Yeah,
you
that's how
go.
they make
Yeah.
them.
I
Funko
always-
used to be Payless.
Yeah,
Yeah, they changed their name.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, well, Legos are cool and they're fun to build, but when they're done, they look like Legos. So you have to. It's
I know.
kind of like
You have to be into it.
It's kind of like a Funko thing. It's like it doesn't look exactly like the character.
You know
it
what?
looks
Yeah.
like its brand.
The Lego version of Star Wars or
Yeah.
whatever. But you know what almost got me into Lego? 2014, the Lego movie.
Yeah.
Because I was like, but hang on a minute. Those are the characters. That's what they look like. Oh, I almost bought all those sets.
Yeah.
I was like, let me get Emmett and Lego Batman and the Morgan Freeman voice character. Nope, stop.
I have
Wait.
the Nintendo
Stop.
one because Nintendo is a TV and you like
Oh,
crank
that's
it.
rad.
And
The
you crank
cranky
it, and-
NES one?
Yeah, and everyone's like, what about the other ones? I'm like, nope.
Stop.
This one has a thing to it.
Yes.
There's a Pac-Man one too that I want that's like a maze.
Oh, yeah.
The ones
yeah.
that are interactive. Because my problem is that they look like Legos.
Sure.
And so when I was like, this is really fun to build, but
What about the Lego that are sort of miniature buildings, famous architectural landscapes? They don't
No.
look like Lego, really. You know what I mean? They're more like sculpted to look like the Taj Mahal
think-
or whatever.
I know.
Flowers? What about flowers?
This
They still
is-
kind of look like
That's
Lego.
the thing is like, I was like, well, I want to do something like this, but I want it to
Cooler.
look like the thing. And I was like, why
Cooler.
don't you do Gundam? They're also cheaper. The only thing,
Yeah, that's true.
They're
Lego
way
is
cheaper.
very expensive.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Bitcoin? That's Lego, man.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the Nintendo one was $250 versus my
Jeez.
master grade Gundams are like maybe $40, $50.
Damn.
And I love it too because it's much more like tedious. Like you get to like cut.
Oh, yes.
And they make it cool. It's like, oh shit, this is the chest, and you
Yeah.
can fold it into a ship. So you can
Oh,
take
cool.
Gundam apart, and there's like parts in them that you can still use.
What? Really?
Yeah, like one of
Like
my
Transformers or
yeah,
something?
almost like a little transformer.
Or like Voltron or Power Rangers where the...
Do they come pre-painted?
Yes.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
I
But they don't come pre-stickered. You got to sticker them.
yeah.
Look at Mark. The wheels are turning. He's like, well, I like
no.
Warhammer 40K.
I love doing
I
it,
don't love the
They
painting.
are painting, but you can do like I do the panel lining, which is where you put like the little black lines in them.
Do you know about that, Mark? He's producing our podcast. He's also Googling everything we're talking about. He's like, I'm going to check that out.
I love doing Gundam.
Mondo.
I've built probably 12 kits so far.
And I love the detail that you do. That when you
Yeah.
sort of taught me about that, I think that's the coolest shit. Where you
Yeah.
go and paint the little line in between.
I want to learn how to do
Yeah,
weathering.
this needs like highlights and shades.
Yeah,
Look at him.
see,
He's
but
like-
Lisa does it. But Lisa does it, and that's all part of the Gunpla community. There, I used the word correctly. Is that they do it? They do little scuff marks. They do little details that make it look like it is a miniature version of a giant mech that has seen some
when
shit.
people do like the weathering and the rusting to
love
it,
it.
I'm like, "Ugh, I want to do that. That's my next goal with it.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
This is a question I wanted to ask
Uh-huh.
you about because I have thought about getting this for you as a gift,
Oh.
but I don't know how you want to display your Gunpla and your Gundam and your assembled Gundam. But there's a store in Burbank, California.
It's
that
the
is
hobby
a
shop.
train hobby shop.
Yeah, it's so cool.
That has miniature like shrubbery and little buildings.
So
and some that are like Japanese buildings because some people will get like, little model cars and
yeah,
things.
there's a place in Seattle called the International Models Shop, and
Oh my
the
God.
owner makes like almost like the dioramas for Gundam.
I love that so
Yeah.
hard.
Somebody makes like waterfalls, and they'll have like a
Stop.
broken Gundam in there that's all weathered out. And I was
and
like,
buildings, and then they're like sitting in a building because
Yeah.
they got thrown into
that's
it.
what I want to make at
You
some
do?
point
So
in my life.
so I could get you the buildings and things.
Yeah, and I would paint them. I would try to
Oh
make.
my God.
And that's the thing. The Gundam thing started because I was like, I just want like a handheld hobby where
Yes.
I feel cool. And they started
check out,
streaming, and then
yeah.
people got obsessed with the streams.
Yeah.
Like they were like, "Oh, I love watching you do it," and then they just watch me get pissed off all the time. Like,
It's
that can't get his fucking part in.
Yeah,
Just-
that's true. When you're doing it right, it's
But
comforting.
when they're
it's
done,
ASMR.
they look so cool.
I know, man.
They
I
look
know.
so cool.
I know.
Like, and then I have like a highlight reel. I was like, why don't you? And this is the thing that bugs me. Everyone's like, why don't you make Gundam reels? Can I just have a hobby that isn't monetized?
No.
Can-
you
yeah,
can't.
yeah,
The
like,
answer is no, Lisa.
So that's why I stream it.
How dare you.
At least in stream, I can do the thing.
That's true.
And then I have it done, and then I can like
Do you have a Gundam like Amazon wish list anywhere? Do you have a
I
like
do,
a,
and
you
I
do?
now because I have like 7 unbuilt kits.
Oh, you have to stop it. You have to
yeah, I was like,
call
guys,
it, cap
I
it?
gotta.
Dude.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people bought me like rare ones that are like limited release.
Paint? Did they send
Tony,
you paint?
you know my friend Tony.
Yeah, I know Tony.
We love
Tony Baloney.
Tony Baloney. He bought me the Armored Core one from the
Oh,
Armored Core
sick.
series that came out.
Oh,
because
because that's different than Gundam.
Yeah, so it's
Armored Core from the Keanu Reeves short from Secret Level.
Yes,
Armored Core's
from,
cool.
from software. Yes,
Dude.
yeah.
Keanu, that episode was dope. I like that episode.
Yeah, that was dope. And so he bought me the Armored Core, I think Ravens,
Oh,
which
what
I
else do they make? Is there a Gunpla Iron Giant? Stop.
probably.
I can't. I know there's Transformers because I have some Transformers.
Yeah.
I built a Transformers character
We were
in front of you.
together. Yeah.
If there, oh man,
Now you're stressed
I
out.
am.
You're
I'm
like-
like, I don't know if I want to
And
get
that's
into
what I think.
this.
I like having it done and then seeing it completed. I still want to go back to my old Gundams and like weather them and like kind of
Cool,
redo some of the
cool.
parts because yes, they're plastic and they
You're
stick
never done.
together.
It's art. You just
Yeah.
walk away. You're never
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, and I
walk
think
away.
it's cool. And like a lot of the big collectors that I follow, like they have like walls of Gundam, and they'll take a
Jeez.
Gundam down. They'd be like, I feel like making the legs longer, and they will literally mold plastic parts to make the
Stop.
legs longer. And I'm like,
Oh, you know what's one of my
this is
favorite?
insane to me.
One of my favorite Gundam custom things that I've seen is a dude that I see online occasionally. I don't know if I follow him, but a guy who will take funny stills when he pauses the animated Gundam shows where like the main, whatever the main character Gundam is, that sort of iconic red and blue with the yellow, the white, red and blue one, the main one.
Yeah,
There'll be like a funny pose.
the main teenager.
The main teenager. There'll be a funny pose where like the drawing is done quickly and he pauses it and it's like there's no detail in the torso. It's all kind of solid white. The arm looks a little funny. He'll then build that in Gunpla to match that exact frame. And even if it's like off model, basically, he makes off model Gundam like statues.
I love
and
that.
It is hilarious.
People
dude.
buy the parts because a lot of them you can replace parts with different Gundam. It's such a
Cool.
and it's a collector's thing because when I'm done, I just have like,
Yeah.
here's my little army, my little war machine army.
One of
you
my
know?
of teenagers apparently.
Yeah,
I need to
teenagers.
watch the story. Am I boring you? No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Listen, we usually record later. Okay,
That's
I'm
true.
a very sleepy baby.
You're a little eepy.
I am a
it's
little,
a little early.
eepy. I did want to ask you though, like
Yeah.
because you have such a fucking insane collection.
Of,
When did you start
tell the
comic
people
books?
comics.
And
Yeah.
also you figurines. You got all your Star Wars. You got you got some other.
Yeah.
I remember redoing your little Indiana Jones shelf.
Yeah, I have
and
I'm almost done with that set because they only did a finite amount of. I guess the Indiana Jones figures did not sell well. People were not stoked about.
Which is funny because I would want an Indiana Jones figure.
I know,
right?
Dude, they did short round.
I'd get an $800 30-inch statue of Harrison Ford.
Right. No.
Just in the last movie with a backache. Just kind of
I hope they make more. It's from Hasbro. It's the same people that do the Marvel and the Star Wars guys. So they're like the same size.
For me, like
yeah.
I meant to ask you a question, and now I want to sidetrack.
Go.
For me, being into stuff like that is stressful.
Why?
I'm very glad that what I like is a little more niche because...
Stop. You're cooler than me, Lisa.
Well, no, because
Don't rub it in.
Because I have OCD.
I know.
I feel like I would just... It would ruin my life. Like, I never got into One Piece because I knew it would ruin my life.
Because there's so much One Piece
Japan
stuff.
And there's One Piece everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
It was hard enough being a Naruto fan.
I have a buddy who's a One Piece fan, and he'll go on Instagram and he shows me kind of the new stuff that and now he's into the One Piece card game.
There's literally specific...
It's cool, but...
secondhand stores just for One Piece stuff because there's so much One Piece merch.
So I think that my whatever my personality is, whatever my brain is, whether it's like, do I have an addictive personality? I don't know. I don't really do drugs. I drink socially, and even with that,
drugs.
I don't at all. Actually, I don't.
Yeah.
I'd be open to try mushrooms. I don't know legally. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared of messing with my brain, but also I'm open to anything. But I think I might have an addictive personality and it manifests in other ways, right? So that fear of like never getting into Lego, never getting into Funko Pops. I'm passionate, but I think my brain does decide and kind of compartmentalize. Okay, Hector, you're into Indiana Jones, for example. There's 8 million Indiana Jones things and stuff you can buy. But like, do I really get clothing? No. Do I really get... like high-end collectible stuff? No. When you go to like the Disney store in Disneyland, they have like, oh, here's a replica like Holy Grail, and it's more expensive than that kind of thing, right? You're going to look that up now? You don't believe me?
No, Mark just texted us something.
Oh, what is it? What did he text us?
Is this one of your Warhammer?
Oh my God.
My God. Okay.
Ooh. Oh, that's a big boy. Ooh, look at the sword,
Wait,
glowy.
am I cool or is he cool? Can we?
Well, he's the coolest. We've established this. Mark is the coolest of all of us because he does this, but also he looks like that.
It's also the thing where it's like, it's such a satisfying thing to see a finished product.
I love
that
it.
You did.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I have some miniatures that are not Warhammer, but they're other dorky stuff. I have like,
you know what you should do? You could start, instead of doing Gunpla, just take your Indiana Jones figure and start painting them.
Stop. I can't.
There you go.
Like the 40-year-old virgin.
Because I do follow someone who buys shitty secondhand toys from like Goodwill and paints them and makes them look so cool.
And I've seen people do that, especially in like the Barbie or doll community. They'll take a doll that is supposed to be, oh, here's Cynthia Erivo from Wicked. Here's like the doll you can buy for $20 or something on the store shelves. And it kind of looks like her, but then people will repaint it, and it's like, dude, that looks like it stepped out of the movie. Yeah. I love that stuff, dude.
I am obsessed with that.
That's art.
And that's basically what the Gunpla community does when they get to the highest level, where they're like, I'm going to make this look like... Because most Gundam are only this tall.
Yes, I know. But they make it look so detailed. It's all in the detail.
It's all...
You want a cool one? So there's a board game called Gaslands.
Ooh.
Oh.
And... all it is kind of like a Mad Max racing game.
Oh.
And what you do is you buy Hot Wheels cars.
Sick.
And you turn them into Mad Max cars.
That's part of the game.
Yes.
That's sick as hell, dude. I love that. You're yawning, I could tell. But
no, I'm thinking about things that I shouldn't need in my life now.
I love that.
When did you start collecting stuff though? How old?
Probably high school. I have comic books on my shelf that you helped me scan into my database that I've had since I was 15 years old.
Did it ever tell you your total number of comic books that you scanned?
No. But now that I do have like a little library database, I think I have so far probably 500 comics.
Jesus Christ.
And these are like mostly to kind of...
You got to see what his garage looks like.
It's
crazy.
Like it's basically a full wall from there to there, maybe a little longer, not as high, but it is it's also mostly paperbacks that are on average about $20 a pop. And I have been collecting them, like I said, since I've been 15.
And we talked about this on the last podcast, how much easier it is to collect comic books than manga, because mangas are thick and small.
True. So just that's a different shelf space. Yeah.
Where it's like in this shelf space, you can fit like 50 comics, but only 10 manga. So it's
right. But a manga, manga, they're also quicker to read, I think,
Yeah.
in my opinion. They're just like faster because they're sort of a shorter format. But you do technically get more sort of pages in the, whatever. It all depends. But
Yeah.
I mean, also a lot of it too is for the years that I did promotional nerdy stuff, I would be given comics for free. There was a minute where I did stuff for DC Comics, like for their internet shows. I was on their DC Universe streaming service. I got a bunch of free DC Comics, like paperbacks.
Yeah, we get it,
and
Hector.
things.
You're so cool.
So I'm pretty cool, but I didn't all just buy all of this last week is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's literally kind of like a half a lifetime or more of collecting.
That's why our places cannot burn down.
I mean, but if they do, I don't know what, dude. I don't know what
I
I'm
don't know
going
what
to
to
do.
do.
I
Yeah.
don't know. So
Everyone's
that's why.
like, it's just stuff. Like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
The stuff I'm
And there's
married to.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of emotional value in that. There's a lot of like, some of it is so meaningful to me. I did grab a couple of those like comics, those collections
What would you
of comics.
say is your most beloved, meaningful comic you
So
own?
I have one that is, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you before. It's like in a little plastic right now. I don't even have it kind of normally
little
on the shelf.
plastic.
It's in its own little plastic, but it is a reprinting of a series. It was a crossover of Marvel and DC called JLA Avengers or Avengers JLA. JLA is Justice League of America. So it's all the Avengers plus all the Justice League, Superman, Batman, everybody. This came out in 2003. I was in high school. This blew my mind. One of my favorite comics ever. I think it still holds up. It's like, I love it. But the artist...
It doesn't have that early 2003 humor where they're like, the prom king passed out in the bed. American
no, it
Pie
doesn't.
humor.
It doesn't. No. Well, you know what? Well, Batman
Whenever
does
I
fuck
say-
a pie.
when
Hang
you-
on, I take
yeah.
it back. Batman fucks a pie. That's true. And Iron Man's trying to lose his
I
virginity.
do love
Maybe
when
it does. Maybe it does.
I do love when even when you read manga from the early 2000s,
Yeah,
you're just like,
ugh. No.
okay.
It actually has a very old school. It's very corny. It feels like a comic from the 70s or
Okay,
80s.
that's good.
You open it and there's like so many word balloons per panel. So it's very like, it feels like Crisis on Infinite Earths. Feels very old school. But the artist is George Perez. And George, he passed away a couple years ago from cancer. But before he passed away, Marvel and DC, which they had not done this in over a decade, teamed up for George and reprinted this in a very limited edition thing that was sold just to benefit comic book artist charity. And George got to see it reprinted. It was like his sort of like, you know, his masterwork. It's his masterpiece. So it was really cool that the two companies kind of were able to set aside their corporate interests and do this thing for George. So this reprinted thing, I tried to order one from my comic book store and I couldn't because it was very limited numbers.
Yeah.
But then after George passed away, I went to a comic book store in LA and it was on sale for, I think it was $150. And I was like, done. I'm buying this. So I have it. Very special to me for all those reasons. I love that artist. He's passed away. It's very meaningful. It's very sentimental. I haven't even opened it to read it. I have the single issues. There were 4 issues that made the story from 2003. I still have those. I have read those over and over again. They're a little falling apart. Like those, and you know, those are probably also valuable because they're out of print, whatever, the single issues, but I don't care. Like that's the one that I'll read through to read. And then the sort of version I have that is the more pristine version. That might be my most...
See, I
priced,
don't
yeah.
think I have any books or
Yeah.
anything that are worth money. I have like
Yeah.
old manga Sailor Moon Tokyo Pop prints that are awful.
Okay.
Yeah, like
and they're not. And again,
Yeah.
honestly, all of my comic books, even the more expensive, like, oh, this is an omnibus hardcover, thick boy, this big.
Yeah.
You could find that stuff aftermarket for like $100, $75. Like nothing I have is thousands of. Like people think because I collect comics, like, oh, do you have anything that's worth? I'm like, no.
You're like, no. I just like
You
collecting.
think I have an Action Comics #1? Get out of here. No.
See, I do have some rare figurines. I will say that.
Okay.
And some things like, because in Japan, you would go to, like, which I also love this about Japan. It's like, oh, you're a Hunter x Hunter fan? Well, they have a Hunter x Hunter special collab cafe going on this month where you can only get limited merch.
I love that.
And so I did that a lot. I went to a couple Hunter x Hunter ones, Gintama ones,
And you get
Mob Psycho ones.
limited edition
And I got like
stuff.
a limited edition stuff. Like I got like a coffee mug of Reagan and he's wearing like an apron. He's like serving food. And like I got it for $20.
How much is that
And
mug?
people are selling online for $100 right now. And so it's just like, those are things that are but to me, it's like, they're not sentimental as
Right.
much. Like they're just really cool that I own them. Like
Yeah,
I've had
and
people
rare,
and
and
people,
rare.
yeah, rare Reagan. We love a
Rare
rare Reagan.
Reagan,
And like
mhm.
same thing with like can badges and keychains and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And it's more worth here than it is in Japan because they have so many of these collab cafes. But I love that. They don't do that enough here. I feel like they are just starting to do that.
I mentioned the Simpsons movie tie-in from 2007. It's like, where's the new weird merch that's rare movie tie-in?
There is a cafe in Anaheim. It's like this fairy tale cafe. They did like
the Deadpool bucket?
The Deadpool popcorn bucket. There you go. Right. That's all we get.
The Dune fleshlight bucket.
I have a Venom popcorn bucket. It's stupid, but I do have it and I want to sell it. I want to see if anybody will want it.
And that's like, and I feel like the Western audiences and companies need to do that more. Like the fucking Dragon Ball Z versus Puffs things. This is badass. Like, I know. It's cool to get like cool figurines or like t-shirts and whatnot, but it's like, I want to get some weird shit. Aquaman, grow your own boyfriend.
Why don't you I know.
Grow your own Aquaman.
I've seen some creative. Okay, so I did get a promotional box for the new 4th Matrix movie that came out. Matrix Resurrections, I think it was called. They sent me a promotional box, and in there was also a book that was like.
In there was Keanu Reeves.
In there was in there was jelly beans that were red and blue jelly beans because of the pill. That's clever.
Yeah, I know.
And I still have that unopened, and they're probably poison. And then I have it came with a book that was like Idiot's Guide to Coding. Like it was just like a legit book on how to code. And I'm like, oh, that's fun. Yeah. Somebody came up with that.
I did an Xbox IHOP collab. At IHOP, they had they had like Indiana Jones food and like Sonic the Hedgehog food. Yeah. But then I got like a cool Sonic the Hedgehog mug that says IHOP on it. It's like the really thick IHOP mugs with Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm like, that's fun. Cool shit.
That's fun.
And then I got like these the old school, those old school glasses from like the 1980s.
Yes,
with
from
the
McDonald's.
with the like the stained whatever on it. Yeah. I got those for Xbox Series. I got Halo Infinite ones. I got Indiana Jones one, a flight simulator. I ended up selling a few of them. And they sold really well. I'm keeping the Halo ones. They're dope.
Cool. I'm gonna get those amiibos off you. We have already confirmed it.
But it's dope.
I have an idea for a promotional tie-in. Can I pitch you my idea?
Us?
No, for the world.
What?
Can I pitch it?
Yeah.
I think that zoos around the world, but also mainly the San Diego Zoo, San Diegoan Zoo, should do a Pokemon collab where they basically just create a brochure and kids walk in and you hand a brochure and you open it and it's like, oh, I want to see the inspiration, the real world inspiration for Drowsy. I can go look at this tapir over here. Oh, that's so cool. The real animal that is the inspiration for the Pokemon.
I wonder if they've done that in Japan.
They should do it in Japan. They should do it in the US. They should do it everywhere to get kids into going to the zoo, right? Could be cool. Could be a great promotional thing for the zoo. But then it's like a limited edition Pokemon merch you could only get there.
Yeah.
Imagine a Pikachu with like a little San Diego Zoo hat.
That was actually really cool.
Super cool.
And then somebody just throwing Pokeballs at a gorilla.
Oh, that'd be great. No, don't do that. If a kid throws a Pokeball at a panda, that's bad.
Oh my God.
That would hurt the panda's head. That would be really bad.
It's so funny because, man, we talked 50 minutes about collecting shit.
50 minutes? Let's go another 10.
No,
San Diego Zoo Pokeball. A San Diego Zoo Pokeball would be so sick.
I do want,
and
but
dorky.
This is the reason why I wanted to talk about Chrono Trigger at the end.
Oh, you're right.
Now that I'm into Chrono Trigger,
it's great.
I want to buy shit,
dude. I know,
and that's the thing. Is like,
I know.
Like, I played Earthbound 2 years ago and was like, I want to buy Earthbound stuff. Anything Earthbound's gonna be balls to the wall expensive.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of Earthbound on Super Nintendo?
No. It's gonna be so much money.
I know it is. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I have a copy of Chrono Trigger.
Wow.
I have one. I bought it for $200.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That's how much I love that game. And I think owning that, that has prevented my brain being like, I think I'm good. I think I don't need to get any other collectible stuff.
Yeah, you got your one thing. The only thing I have, I have the Mother 2 soundtrack and Mother 3 soundtrack on vinyl.
Sick.
Yeah, and then I also have the CDs as well because the soundtrack's amazing. But I have a friend who has figurines from the 90s, and he's like, these are worth thousands of dollars.
Oh my God, from Earthbound?
Yeah.
From Japan?
From Earthbound when it came out in Japan. It was the box is all beat up and everything, and I'm like,
do you have the NES amiibo from Super Smash Brothers?
No, because I never got to Earthbound until last year.
Get that.
Amiibo's the thing like Funko Pops where it's like this.
I know, but I'm just saying
at least
with Nintendo they made some. There's some of them are cool.
No, but now that I'm playing Chrono Trigger, I'm like, I want Chrono Trigger stuff, and I know Fan Gamers does some Chrono, but I'm like, let me beat the game first.
Yeah,
I may not end up liking it. I doubt it. I'm probably gonna end up loving it.
Why do you love it so far? You said you're 15 hours in.
About 15. I've done 3 streams.
And you got to my favorite character, Frog.
Yeah.
Who's the best?
Frog Boy. I named him Booby.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I also named my main character Katsu. like after my cat because he's got
okay.
orange hair.
That's cute. That's cute.
This is the problem with games that you rename
Yeah.
because people are like,
I
who's your
know.
favorite character? I'm like Katsu. Like who
Booger,
the fuck is Katsu?
butt face.
Titty.
Yeah.
You know?
Damn it.
Yeah, there you
Who's your
go.
favorite Pokemon? Ass fuck.
Yeah,
No,
ass
stop. Damn it. Oh no, ass fuck is
Wiener
evolving.
Man. There you go. I really like it because I have listened to soundtracks so many times that
Oh, already by
Yeah.
itself?
like
Oh.
just like I love Super Nintendo music. It's just
Yeah.
the greatest era. I
It's
mean
the best.
that Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I still
there's-
think Donkey Kong Country might be the
there's
single
some-
best game soundtrack, but I know I might be wrong.
No, you're pretty high up there
It's
for
high up there.
singing that. Yeah. It's because it's the type of JRPG I actually like. I like turn-based JRPGs only in 2D form. Anything beyond that's too overwhelming. And also, there is a bit of a nostalgic vibe to it because obviously I grew up on Super Nintendo. I may have not
Yeah.
played this game, and
But
when
it
you-
feels like
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
and I can see how it inspired future Final Fantasy, Square Enix, all, I can see how this kind of shaped the JRPG world a bit.
And the art,
And the art is fantastic.
Akira Toriyama. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
like
yeah.
a dream team behind the whole game. And that's how I know how it's so popular. Is like every big game artist, director, like this
They
is the
cite it.
dream JRPG.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty fucking good.
I'm glad you're really liking
pretty
it.
fucking good.
I'm glad you're.
And we'll
yeah.
probably talk more about it when I finally beat it because I heard there's like 1,000 endings. So
I mean, it is timey-wimey. There's time travel in it.
yeah,
You've time traveled?
I have time
It's
traveled.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
What about you? What's an exciting thing besides Dawn to Dawn
Oh
that
my
you
gosh.
have coming up or playing or
what do I
watching?
have? Okay, so because you know what? Now that we were talking about it earlier, I think it was the LA fires kind of spooked me a little bit into Hector, you got to read these goddamn comic books you have. You have so many that you haven't read that I'm really excited about. I think I've shifted to like one kind of format. And well, now that I am caught up with Dawn to Dawn, I want to read
Conan.
and Conan the Barbarian. I want to read Hunter x Hunter because I told you that I got the thick boy little 1, 2, and 3 in
This
one.
will be a Patreon episode.
I got it. So I want to watch the show and I want to read that for sort of the manga anime side.
definitely watch the animates.
But this weekend I'm flying out of town. I'm going to another state and I'm looking forward to the plane trips because I can knock out one thick comic that I have up on my high shelf. You help me scan all
Yeah.
those. You help me carry them. They're thick. They're heavy. And I'm going through old Captain America comics right now from the 60s.
Wow.
And I'm going into the 70s. When you go into the 70s and 80s, it starts to get a little bit what's the word? Conspiracy theory. It starts to get a little bit like they're taking Captain America and they're like, what if there were secret evil people running the country of the United States? And how does Cap have to deal with that? And so it kind of gets a
Okay.
little bit more interesting.
I am probably going to read the Dark Souls comic that you bought.
Yeah,
me on the
really?
flight.
Because you're
Well,
also flying. You're traveling.
And I don't want to bring my Switch because I'm staying with a bunch of comics. I don't want to risk
Yeah.
it getting stolen or
For
something.
sure.
Yeah.
Comics will jack your Switch.
Yeah, they will
Yeah.
jack them.
Mhm.
So I either am going to read that or
Mm-hmm.
Hideo Kojima's The Creative Gene because someone bought that for me recently.
Cool. Yeah, dude, I have started doing this and I really recommend it because it's kind of, that stupid thing that men do on airplanes where they're like, I'm going to raw dog this flight.
Yeah.
And they just sit there and they film themselves and they don't watch any movies, do anything. They just they don't have any snacks. They just sit there for a 6-hour
insane.
flight. I like to raw dog a flight, but by sitting and reading one
I
thing,
love the term raw dogging.
it's gross. I apologize. Let me take it back. It's gross. I like to.
It's like drinking a Corona without a lime. You're
Yeah, you're raw dogging it.
You're just raw dogging it.
Yeah, it's like walking your dog without a leash. You're raw
Did I ever
dogging it.
tell
That's
you
dangerous.
real
Don't
quick
do it.
That I thought raw dog was like I didn't know what it meant forever, and I would be like raw dogging good time or some shit. I
Stop.
thought it was like a Southern thing.
Oh no!
Hey, we're gonna have
mean,
a raw dogging good time.
I think
was
it
like,
is a Southern thing.
Yeah,
though, to be fair, I think it is.
Yeah, like a Ned Flanders type thing.
Uh-huh.
Like
Oakley
like,
dokley.
oh,
Raw doggingly good time.
Anyways,
That's gonna be our podcast
Wow.
merch. It's gonna be a raw doggingly good time. Dork Souls, a raw doggingly good time.
That's actually
Please
not
leave us that
bad.
review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. Please just put 5 stars. A raw doggingly good time.
raw dogging good time.
I recommend reading a book in one sitting, front to back. A a novel in a 6-hour
that
flight,
the
in a
advice
4-hour
we're
flight.
leaving on today's episode?
That's my advice. And you said you're going to do the Kojima book.
Either
Read it
that
in
or-
one sitting.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
but yeah, that's that, and also don't collect too much shit because then
Yep.
you have problems like this later on.
But
in
if you
life.
do, eBay it because somebody's always going to want it. A
Yeah.
pen that run out of ink.
yeah,
They're going to want it.
they're gonna pen. Yeah,
Wires,
why not?
Macari, eBay.
Yeah, I eBay a lot of shit, so
Yeah.
I don't sell. I just buy.
And next time you see Lisa Wallen at a stand-up show, bring her a miniature building so she can put it next to her
Full
Gundam.
of money.
No, right. Yeah. Never mind what I said. Do
Yeah,
that.
that too.
Okay.
All right. Well, there you go. That's today's episode, and we'll see you next time.